Hello people and welcome to my channel. Into the Radius is a survival horror game from developers CM Games. It has been out on PC VR since 2020, but this is a full port to the standalone Quest 2. So is this game worth your time? I'm going to talk about things I like about this game, and things I don't like, and how I think the developers can improve the game going forward. Are you excited? I know I am, so let's get straight into it, and remember, we're born to respawn. You are a mysterious traveller who finds themselves in the Blighted Zone, surrounded by deadly anomalies and strange, dangerous enemies. The only thing keeping you alive is your wits and your guns. Travel into the Radius to uncover the mystery of what is happening and how you can escape. Wait, isn't this just the plot from 2007 Stalker? Let's get this straight. Into the Radius story is a load of rubbish. Sorry, but it is. I had no investment in who I was supposed to be. I had no interest in the organisation I was supposed to be working for. And after the torturous 30-minute tutorial, I was pretty much sure I wasn't going to like this game. But there is something about Into the Radius that just niggles away at you, gets under your skin, and makes you want to go back to the devastated Pachorsk region again and again, despite the punishing gameplay loop. And it is punishing. Go out into the surreal landscape of Into the Radius unprepared and you will die a lot. Even ultra prepared, I ran into groups of enemies and ended up out of ammo, out of health and scrambling to get back to base before I was killed. This game is tough. My saved game says I have played for about 10 hours, but that doesn't include the countless hours I've lost through forgetting to save and getting jumped by mimics when I wasn't paying attention. And that is the gameplay loop of Into the Radius that gets under your skin. If you die by wandering into an anomaly or get jumped by a group of mimics, it's your fault for not paying attention. You can't just sprint through the Radius to get to your objective. You have to pay attention to your surroundings. Top tip number 1, as my good friend Weeble is always telling me, save, save, save. As often as you remember, there is nothing worse than achieving a hugely risky job just to get jumped by some random mimics on the way home and lose everything. So, what do I like about this game? I love the attention to detail in this game. You have to maintain your weapons and magazines meticulously or they will jam during combat, and believe me, the last thing you want is a jammed gun when getting swarmed by enemies. You need to oil and clean your guns to maintain them, but to bring them to ultimate performance, you need to use a ramrod and cleaning paper. It's a gun nut's dream. Which brings me to top tip number 2. If you can't be bothered to clean and maintain all your guns and mags, select repair here, then bung them all in the locker. They will automatically be repaired and maintained to top tier, but it will cost you. As you level up, you get access to more guns and attachments. I've struggled to level 3 and have access to some amazing weaponry, but I'm still fixated on that level 5 gear, which looks amazing. If you have a favourite gun, it can be upgraded by adding attachment rails and silencer mounts, and then adding lasers, flashlights, sights, and this becomes a very clever dance of money management and pushing the more risky assignments that have bigger payouts, but ultimately much more risk involved. The inventory system is pretty much the VR standard now, but with a clever twist. You can load up your backpack with as much stuff as you want, but the heavier your backpack, the slower you move, and the more stamina you utilise when sprinting. The gameplay loop may initially seem very formulaic, but it changes up with the weird tide system where at random times everything is reset by a wave of some kind. Find yourself out in the Radius when this hits and you may end up miles from home, out of resources and struggling to find your way home. If this sounds sadistic, well it is. It can be hugely frustrating but also hugely rewarding if you do make it home with no health, no stamina and no way of defending yourself, but a backpack full of shiny loot. Another highlight is the map and mission pack, which is situated on your backside. This gives you a map, global map, mission and journal. So, all good so far, but what don't I like about this game? I am sorry, but after the visual delight that was Red Matter 2, Into the Radius's graphics are a bit rubbish, to be honest. There is a major pop-in, muddy visuals and stutter. This is probably caused by the fact that everything in Into the Radius is persistent. If you drop an empty box of bullets on the ground, when you go back past that area, the box is still there. Still, I expected more. Does it detract from the gameplay? Not really, because you really are focused when in the Radius, but it can be jarring when a whole village pops into view through the fog. Secondly, a lot of the missions are rinse and repeat. Go here, kill enemies, collect artifacts, blah, blah, blah. The only really interesting missions are the priority ones, but sometimes you don't have enough money or equipment to take them on, so you have to do the more mundane tasks. Getting killed while doing these missions can be hugely frustrating. Lastly, I will label this game Bullet Loading Simulator. You spend so much time reloading magazines with a bewildering amount of different types of bullets that it starts to get tedious. I find myself reloading all my mags after every fight, and though the system of reloading is well implemented, it can get laborious. So what can the devs do to improve the game? Into the Radius is a hardcore survival horror game, and that punishing gameplay loop is deliberate, so nothing can change there. So the only improvement I would like to see is in the visual department. The gun models, they're superb, but the muddy visuals, stutter and pop in, that needs to be addressed. So, is Into the Radius worth your time? Despite my misgivings and frustration, I really enjoyed my time with Into the Radius. There is a lot to dislike, but also a lot to like. The game is punishingly hard, but once I got used to the fact that you can't just charge in guns blazing, I started to calm down and enjoy the game. Stealth, a silencer and subsonic ammo were the keys for me. There were moments of genuine terror as one of the mimics crept up on me and frightened the bejesus out of me. Plus, hiding in a room trying to avoid a horde of enemies or fumbling a reload whilst under attack were really terrifying experiences. I can recommend that you purchase Into the Radius, but please don't blame me when a mimic sneaks up on you and a bit of poo comes out. As always though, what do you think? Does that punishing gameplay loop sound like fun to you, or are you put off by the difficulty? Do you like the idea of meticulously cleaning your guns, or does that sound tedious as well? You know the drill, get involved and comment down below. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the other side.